Hi, I'm Diana. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Discover Product Management by Diana. In today's session, we're going to talk about probably one of the most difficult skills being a product manager, which is the skill of saying no. So in today's session, I'm actually going to give you 3 approaches in which you can reframe the skill of saying no into something collaborative and into something that you can take and apply day to day. So when it comes to like saying no, the feedback I had from other people that I work with, from other junior product managers, is that it can be quite challenging because you're seeing it as a confrontation. It's a situation where you have a plan, the other person has different ideas about what they want to do, and then there's a clash of ideas. And if you're looking at it from a confrontational point of view, it can be quite draining. It could take up a lot of energy, every day, because as a product manager, you have to prioritize a lot. Your role is to ensure that the team is working on the most valuable things, and you are the person that prioritizes those things, makes sure that we're building valuable work, and in doing so, you probably won't always be aligned with what everyone else does. So most of the times, I don't know if in your company this is the case, but engineering resources are limited, which means that your role is to protect those engineering resources and make sure they're applied in the right place. And as part of that, you have to say no to people in your team, people in other teams. And I think is like a very key skill to have. I think you can apply the skill of saying no probably every day. But I'll give you like 3 ways of reframing this into something collaborative. So hopefully you'll have now the tools to look at this differently and to try it in your day-to-day. So the first one that I want to share with you is kind of moving it from saying no to finding a common goal. So in a lot of situations when stakeholders come to you with their priorities or with their approach of doing something, rather than saying, no, that's not a good idea, or no, that's not what we're planning to do, is most of the time as a product manager, you do work towards a common goal, towards like company strategy. You're trying to, help the business, provide value to customers, and by providing value to customers, then you're helping with business metrics, because customer satisfaction leads to more sales, higher retention, all those different things. So ultimately you're focused on helping the customer help the business and drive those metrics. And if you're in a B2B, it is going to be more around driving those business metrics. So when I'm in situations where ideas clash and someone has a different view on how to do something, or they have different priorities, I try to look at, well, actually, both of these approaches have a common higher goal. So both of us are trying to help the business, make more money, or help customers find this product easier. We are looking like at a macro level, we're aiming for the same things. So what you really want to do is highlight that you're not trying to say no to them or see their ideas are not bad, but you're trying to find the best way to achieve that goal. And you should be open-minded. Like, that best way to achieve that goal could be taking their idea and like changing it a bit. It's not just negotiation, is sharing the vision. You have to clearly communicate what is it that you're trying to achieve. As a product manager, you need to be really confident of why your backlog or why those ideas lead to business value, and then clearly communicating that and actually getting people excited about that. Maybe in time they'll come up with more ideas and help you achieve that. So that's the first approach. The second approach I have is around finding more data. So what I mean by that is there will be situations where you end up in just conversations about, my opinion is we should do this, the other person's opinion is they should do that. So then you're in a situation where you need to capture more information, more data to support your argument, because just being someone's subjective opinion it's very difficult to argue, and it's very difficult to say no to someone else's idea when you do not have the data to support why your idea is better, or what are the risks, or what are the issues, or so on about their idea or their approach or their priorities. So at that point, you need to think about, okay, we obviously disagree, or we obviously have a different understanding of what the priorities should be, but then I believe that we need to go off and capture more information. So then you go off and you either do more customer research, or you look at the data in a new approach, like look at all your analytics, and understand what is the impact of each one of them, and why do you believe that you're solving a customer need, or what do you believe that this idea will be worth more, like prioritizing, or is more important for the backlog. And I just realized that I am going more into like some of those skills you can use in a prioritization situation as well. It's not just the saying no. I'm kind of combining them, because I feel like the saying no situation mainly happens when there's a conflict in priorities, when someone else wants something from your team and you have a different set of priorities. So you could use this skill also when it comes to prioritizing your backlog, or proving or trying to get people to understand why the priorities make sense by capturing more data. Because just going to the subjectiveness, and if someone is not happy with why you said no to them, then it really, you could damage the relationship long term. So it's very important, like, you always take them on the journey. They do understand what the situation is, and then you work together to, like, that goal is like kind of a bit of disagree and commit. So like, they might disagree, but if you have enough data and whatever, they'll commit to it, and then you move forward. And then the third approach of saying no is around, we'll look at it later. So you recognize that it is something of interest, it is something quite good, but is not the right time for it now. And people feel quite good about that, actually. This is like a common thing. I have tried a few times, and people feel good because you acknowledge that their ideas has legs, their idea adds value, but it's not the right time for it. So, but what is very, very important in here is, like, you don't just tell them that and then you just forget about it. You just be like, oh, I'll remember about this, and then you never do. It's very important to have a space. You could use, like, I don't know, there's so many tools out there. You could use Jira, you could use Notion, you could use whatever you want to, like, capture those ideas, and make sure that when you do get to that topic, and like maybe capture them, I think it's best to capture them against a pillar, or like a strategic pillar, or against a customer problem, because then when it comes to you coming around to looking at that problem, you already have ideas that you've been capturing over time. So yeah, that's a better way, and then that will give the other person the confidence that yes, they acknowledge this, they are taking some action, or I understand why it's not the right time now, but it would be later. So those are some of the ways, 3 different approaches of, I think the most important part of all of this is reframing for you personally what it means to say no, because realistically it shouldn't really be no that really like inhibits everyone's ideas and everything. No, it should be, is it not the right time? Yeah, let's look at this from a different perspective, like, are there better approaches to achieve this? How can I help you understand what is it I'm doing and where does it fit? I think, and then, or you understanding my challenges, that is not the right time. But it should never be, no, this is not going to happen. That doesn't help with relationships. So it's very important for you to think about it as just another tool that you have to create conversation, and to be able to convince people and influence people or understand where they're coming from. So it's more of an act of that whole building a relationship, understanding where they're coming from. And then what I gave you today are a bit of tools to kind of guide that conversation depending on the situation, on what would be the right next steps for that. Hope you found it useful, and please subscribe for other videos about tips for product management. See you later. Bye.